favorite coach, NaQuandra, coming to you from my vehicle. I want to talk about this subject of yoga and should we be participating in it as believers? Because I run into this question, this belief that we can, and that it's not that deep more often than not from other believers. I was just eating, so my nails are pretty good, stuff all over it, and I'm all over the world today. Anyway, so as a business owner, I create digital products for organizations, businesses, companies, whatever. Whoever needs a book, I design it for them so that they can sell it, give it to their staff, give it to their members at church, whatever, whoever the case may be. But sometimes, more than I'd like to see, there are Christians who send me their manuscript for their books, and it's about mindfulness, it's about finding your true self, it's about healing, it's about personal development, which is awesome. We should be doing things like to help us develop in who we are, to build our character, and so on and so forth. But there is some things that we should not be doing in order to achieve that wholeness, right? And one of those things is yoga. One of those things is very much yoga. Like yoga, I'm looking for something and clearly can't find it. This is not even what I was looking for, but I want it. One of those things is yoga. And I have a hard line of I am not creating anything or promoting anything that promotes something that goes against the laws and the principle of God, which the Lord said, put no other gods before me. There will be no other gods before me. And people go into yoga and they're like, oh, well, it's just exercise, it's just stretching, or it's just based on your personal convictions and how you feel about it. But that's not the case. The law wasn't written, the commandments wasn't written. God didn't just put things into place just because he felt like it. It's for a reason. There's an order. And so yoga in itself is a spiritual practice. Yoga in the United States of America has become something washed down or whitewashed to where it's reduced to just stretching, but at its core, it's not just stretching. It is a spiritual practice. It is a Hindu spiritual practice which they use to worship their gods. And all of these poses that we're doing as we're going through these flows and these vinyasas and the humming and the chanting that comes before and after are as a service to their gods, right? Whether we're doing it knowingly or unknowingly, that does not negate or eliminate the fact that it is still worship to their gods at the core. You know what I'm saying? We can make it sound good and say, oh, I'm just stretching and I'm just, doing things that help me be mindful and help me to breathe. But you're also worshiping somebody else's God. You're also putting another God before the God that you say that you serve, right? And there's Christian yoga. I did Christian yoga once. So let me tell you my testimony with yoga. I used to be a yoga head. Like I used to go to hot yoga consistently or faithfully. I would go outside, and I went to a yoga in a park one time with a friend. I even tried Christian yoga. No, and even I tried Christian yoga after I had learned that yoga in itself was worship to other gods. So I've been there. I know the benefits, the physical benefits of doing yoga, the mental benefits of doing that practice, because it does strengthen you in your body. It is hard work. It does keep you active and physically moving or whatever, but at what cost? At what cost? It does surfacely seem like it's just stretching, or you're just trying to, maneuver, move your body. It does seem like that at surface level, but if you look at it at the core, it's spiritual practice. It is its own religion. It's its own practice to these 700,000 gods that those who are in the Hindu religion or whatever serve. And again, the word says, God says, there will be no other gods before me. You shall not make any other gods for yourself. You shall not serve or make an altar to any other gods for yourself. And guess what you're doing when you're practicing yoga? As your body is the altar, as your body is the temple of God, you are putting yourself and you're offering up worship to these other gods. Does that make sense? So there's no way around trying to, once you find out the truth, like if you're doing it in ignorance now, and this is your first time hearing, oh, okay, this is demonic, or this is not of God, so be it. Make your decision to cut it off today. But some people will hear this and they'll be like, oh, it's just your conviction. Oh, it's just based on what you believe it is, right? I can believe that a dog is a monkey, but that doesn't mean that the dog is the monkey. The dog is the dog, right? I can believe that right now it's not hot outside, and I can say it's cold outside, and I just really believe that it's cold outside. But the reality is that it's hot outside today. Does that make sense? So I also had a client who just got really upset with me because I rejected their order due to it having yoga in it. And I'm just saying, hey, I appreciate you trusting me, reaching out to see if I can create this for you, but I can't. This goes against my biblical beliefs, my spiritual beliefs. Like I'm not doing or making anything that's going to promote this practice. And she got really upset. She's like, you need to educate yourself. It's not a spiritual practice. It's just this. It's just that. And I'm just like, ma'am, you can't turn me. I've already done the research for myself, and I already have decided this is what this is, and I'm standing on this, right? And that's okay. That's okay. But I don't want you to be ignorantly putting your hands in different things, into accursed things, because it's popular, because you see every other Christian doing it. Go and get understanding for yourself. We all need to be diligent or intentional about getting an understanding about the things that we did. Like when I was doing yoga, my friend said, hey, don't you know that this is demonic? And I was like, what you mean this is demonic? I ain't never heard it before in my life. I was saved for a good little minute. And she was like, yeah. And I looked it up, learned that it was not what I thought it was, and I stopped doing it. Just like that. Stop doing it just like that. And then going back to the Christian yoga, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Granted, they take out in the beginning, they take out the chanting and stuff, but the poses, the flows, the name of the poses, all of it is the same. It's literally the same thing. You just put a different banner on it. You put it in a different package to make it sound good, to make it look cute, to make it justifiable even the more. But it's not. You can wrap it in whatever you want it to wrap in. You can wrap a pile of poop in a nice package. Still, when you open it up, it's a pile of poop. So we have this thing where we justify, and in the word it says you can justify anything. Like you can make anything. Everything is permissible, but not everything is profitable or beneficial. So we can make anything sound and look good, but what is the truth? What is the reality? And all that getting, we need to do what we can to get an understanding of what we're putting our hand in. Listening to the Bible plan this week, and I'm like way behind on my days. We're doing the Bible in the year. I'm like way behind. Wait, but it talks about how they went to go overtake Jericho, and God told them exactly what to do when they got over there, and what to do with the things that they brought back, the gold, the clothes, the animals, everything. He said, he told them exactly what to do, and don't let anything accursed be among you. And he also tells them in the law, like, don't let any accursed things be among you, because if there's accursed things among you, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to reject you. And so when they took those accursed things, the Lord rejected them. So we got to make sure that we are not knowingly or unknowingly putting our hands or bringing accursed things into our camp, meaning our home, into our families, into our mind, because God is not going to have no dealings with those things, like us putting him in competition with other things, us defiling ourselves just so we can be like the world. That's why they made Christian yoga, to justify it, so we can do it too. Like, y'all listen, if it wasn't bad, if it wasn't demonic, if there was nothing wrong with it, why did we need to even call it Christian yoga? Why did we need to give it its own denomination if there was nothing bad about it? Why did we need to throw Christian on it to kind of purify it if there was nothing bad about it? Why do we need to throw Christian over the word witch if it's nothing bad about it? If we're just using our spirit guides and tapping into whatever, if it's so innocent, why do we need to justify it by throwing the word Christian on it, or throwing Christian witch, Christian yoga, if it's not bad, if there's no issue with it? You threw it on there because there's an issue with it. You threw it on there because it's not right. But I digress. Christian yoga is not a thing. Yoga is not just stretching. Go and do your research. It is a Hindu spiritual practice where they use to worship their God. Not God, their gods with an S, because there's hundreds and we serve one. So no matter which way you try to flip it, it's demonic. No matter which way you try to turn it around and make it look good, it's demonic. And that's just how the cookie comes. That's just that on that. So insightful that this would redirect some of you who do have your hands in yoga. I hope it gave more context to why believers like me are screaming out loud that yoga is demonic and that you need to stop doing it. That these sororities are demonic, these fraternities are demonic, these are demonic. You need to come out. There's so deception going on. There's so much lukewarmness. There's so much leaning onto your own understanding happening. And we got to get free. We got to get free. So if you don't take anything from what I said, take this. And all thy getting, get an understanding. Get an understanding about what you are doing in your life, what you have your hands in, what you're listening to. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? If you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, why? And all that getting, get an understanding. If you don't believe in him, why? And all that getting, understanding. But that's it. Y'all stay tuned. If you don't know, we have devotion every Monday through Thursday morning here on YouTube, and also in my community, Women Alike, where we gather for conversations, community, and accountability. We have devotion there on Zoom, but I also stream it live here on YouTube. But YouTube portion is just the teaching part. If you want to be a part of the conversation, then you need to actually join the community so you can get the Zoom link and be in the room. Okay? So I pray that you are blessed, that the Lord keep you and may his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Talk to you later.